Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vash Harry. This is the Harry Knit. And if you're Muslim, Selamat Berpuasa, Ramadan Mubarak. It's currently the 2nd of March when I'm filming this video, and it's the first day of Ramadan, which means that all the Muslims are fasting for the whole month from sunrise to sunset. And that means for the next month or so, I will be very low energy. But, I think it's a really great time for self-reflection, taking it easy, having some peace, especially since we're not eating, not drinking, not doing anything really. So it's a slow month, but I really appreciate it. Happy March. I feel like I haven't filmed in ages. I think the last video I filmed was my podcast because organizing the studio was a lot more work than I thought. And we still need to do some more stuff, which is why the studio tour isn't ready yet. And I also need to get permission from the other girls if I could film their section of the space. We installed the curtains, but we realized the ones that we got were wrong and they were too sheer. According to one of the women that we're sharing the space with, the studio has south-facing windows, which is great because there's always going to be sunlight. But Brunei is a very hot country, period, and so the weather is just blasting against the room and it's so hot. So we need to really invest in some blackout curtains because it just gets too hot sometimes. So we'll be sorting that out tomorrow. So hopefully I'll start filming videos there if I have the chance. But I think that's some updates I wanted to give for the studio. But because I've been focusing on that and a lot of my own personal work came through last month, I haven't really been doing a lot of knitting. I've been kind of in a knitting block. I haven't really been thinking of my own knits or even the designs that I have planned this year, which I want to change hopefully after Ramadan. I know that it's a priority for me and I need to make it a priority, but we're going to take it easy. We're going to take it chill, especially for this podcast. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of things to show you. I haven't done much work on the vest last month. I think I just put it down. I finished the socks that I made and I want to talk a little bit about that. And I have a new whip that is halfway done and I'm really excited to show it to you. It's definitely gotten me out of my knitting funk, but I do want to show it and I have some thoughts on it. So this video is probably not going to be as long as some other podcasts, and that's okay. We'll just take it easy. We'll talk. We'll relax. Also, I'm testing out a lighting setup right now. I don't know if I'm going to stick to it, but I think it looks really nice. I have a reflector just to brighten up the bottom part of my face. I do want to start investing in better lighting equipment. This is just for my own personal work because I do use lights when I'm working as a content creator. If you don't know, I am a freelance content creator based here in Brunei. The Harry Knit is my personal passion project. I love talking about knitting and I love doing that, but unfortunately not a lot of people in Brunei really know too much about knitting. Although that being said, I've been getting sent a lot of crochet lately and I have just given up on explaining the difference. I just say, oh thank you, I will try to make that. I can't really keep telling people the difference between knitting and crochet. If it looks the same, people will think it looks the same, so it's fine. I have some whips, some FOs, as I said, and then I guess we'll just get started. So let's start off with my one FO for the month, which are my cherry pie socks by Debbie Ford. I finished these a while ago. I'm pretty sure I finished these a while ago, but I haven't blocked them yet. I haven't even weaved in the ends. But I don't even think I need to weave in any ends. I did the Stephen West twisted thing. I remember seeing a video about it and I thought, oh, this is a really nice way to weave in the ends, but I haven't weaved in any of them just yet. But it's a very simple sock. I've turned it inside out to show you. It's basically just a weave-in method where you just weave in the ends like so, and you just cut off the yarn, so I should cut these soon. And you can see here, I was so scared. I spilled a little bit of coffee, I think last month on it, but I don't think you could see it very well, and thankfully it was only on the one strand. I finished these socks pretty quickly, all things considered, and I didn't do my usual method of knitting the leg and then knitting the other leg and then knitting the body and then the other body. I just did one at a time. So I finished one sock and I finished the other relatively quickly. I think it was because I think I was in a bit of a knitting funk last month, and it really encouraged me to get back into it. This is a free pattern. It is the Cherry Pie Socks by Debbie Ford, if I didn't mention it earlier. And I really did enjoy knitting this up. I think because of the very simple lace pattern, the eyelet pattern, it kept my mind going without being too plain of a stockinette. The plain stockinette is here at the back, but the front section looks really, really nice. I have not blocked this yet, but I will soon. My favorite part, and I think I said it in the previous podcast, was I really love the detail over here. I think this detail and the rib is really, really cute. And in the original pattern, I think they switched the colors for this, but I could be wrong. I decided to keep it the same as is. So I have a lot of yarn left from the red and the purple, surprisingly. So I think I have just enough to make myself another pair of socks with this yarn. This is the Big Little Yarn Co. Trusty sock set in Shiso, and Strawberry Jam. So this one is Shiso. You can see the really beautiful purples, and then the red here is Strawberry Jam. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not been blocking my knits lately. I really need to start getting ahead with knitting not just these socks, but also the hats that I've been finishing up. So I think right after this video, I'm gonna seam all of this together and then I'm gonna block it overnight so I can finally wear them. And I haven't even taken a photo of them. This is so unlike me. I just haven't managed to find the time to work on like the photos for my knits, which I know is so unlike me because I love taking photos of my knits. But hopefully it encourages me to knit more socks because I do want to knit another pair this month. I think the aim is to knit maybe one sock a month, and I've been eyeing like a nice free pair of socks. I think they're really, really fun to do, especially if you can find like a good knit that is also free and not stockinette. I think it's time that I should probably make my husband a pair of socks for himself because I think that would be really, really nice. We can make matching pairs, but he's pretty adamant about either getting a skull sock or one that's inspired by Mortal Kombat, which I don't know if there's a specific pattern with the dragon from Mortal Kombat, but we will look through it and we'll see. I do really enjoy making socks. I do. It's definitely something that I think it wasn't something I initially ever really liked. I remember in a previous video I was talking about it. I was like, I don't really like making socks. But now it's just the easiest thing for me to carry, especially when I am in the DJ booth. I'm just working on my socks. That's usually how it is. I bring my knitting everywhere, but the ones that I finish the most is when I'm in the DJ booth because it's basically 3 hours of me not talking to anyone, being alone, and just knitting. Maybe I'll do a vlog about what's it like being a knitting content creator / DJ. But really, it's you knit when you have the quiet moments, and I absolutely love that. Is there anything else I want to say about these socks? Not particularly. I didn't have much of an issue when working on these. The only thing I would say is probably that I did the toes a little bit differently than what I usually do. I think these were only about 20 stitches or something, and then I did the Kitchener stitch, and I think I did make a mistake somewhere. Yeah, I made a mistake like right here. I don't know if you can see it though, it's very minor, but sometimes when I do the Kitchener stitch, it does get a little confusing and I think I missed a stitch somewhere, but it's okay. You can barely tell, so if I can't tell, I don't think the average person who's gonna look at my socks will also tell. I should do a video about my favorite socks, but I've only knitted like 5 socks so far, not a lot. So maybe in October, when I know it's gonna be a Socktober month, I'll probably start working on these. That is definitely all the FOs that I have for the month of February. Like I said, this is probably going to be a very short podcast. Also because I'm tired because Ramadan. You know, the first day or two or week, really, you just get kind of settled with not eating for 12, 14 hours. So, you know, it's something that I'm still trying to... I've been doing it for a long time. I've been fasting since I was 7, so about 20 years now. And every year it gets easier. except when I was in the UK, because those were very long days. When I was studying in the UK and I was fasting, I think it was from like 3 a.m. until 10 p.m. and I was so tired. Here in Brunei, because we have consistent weather, it's always been like maybe 4:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. So it's a lot easier here because half the time I'm asleep. Tangent aside, let's move on to my whip. It is my favorite whip of the year, and I feel like it's going to be my favorite piece of the year, even though it's only literally the beginning of March. This is the Margaret Tee by Joanna Gerich. I featured this in my knitting plans 2025, like back in January, and I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that I would start knitting it so soon, but when my husband bought me this yarn in Singapore, this is the Stellar Fibreworks Fauna and Floral Sock in the color Painted Red. I really fell in love with the red, and I thought the Margaret Tee would be perfect to do this really beautiful saturated with little white specks for this. The body is done. I am just about to cast off the sleeve, and then I'll work on the other sleeve. So hopefully by the next podcast, you will see me wear this Margaret Tee, and I'm so in love with it. One thing that scared me about the Margaret Tee is that it uses 3.5 millimeter needles, fingering weight yarn, and it's a cardigan. So it's not even stockinette. I did the knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl all the way, and I was really worried I was going to get sick of it, but I actually quite enjoyed it. This one here is the size 1, I think. This is the smallest size, and the reason why is I calculated it. She recommended 0 to 8 centimeters of positive ease, and it fit my bust perfectly, so I wanted to do it just like it. If I had the choice, I'd probably do it at maybe the second size, but I think the first size would have fit me, and I have, for reference, a 35 to 35.5-inch bust. So this one I think would be perfect for my body. It is very cropped though. She did recommend a 20 centimeter from here to here, which is very cropped for extra small. But I think after blocking, it's gonna do a little bit of stretching. Plus, I want to add the ruffles. This cardigan doesn't have any ribbing, although if you wanted to, you can definitely include it yourself. I stuck with what the instructions said and just to do the whole I-cord. So it's curling a little bit, but I'm hoping after blocking it's not going to curl as much. And the thing that made me really excited about this was the bow ties. So I did one, I don't know if I can find it. I did the bow ties right here, and I should have put a marker or stitch marker once I started working on the body, so I knew where to add the ties. I didn't, now I know, but I added these 2 little ties here so it can turn into a bow. In the pattern, she adds 2 bows, so one here and then one there to do a decorative bow, but I think I'll just stick to one because I think that would look really nice, very cutesy, very demure. And another change that I did was I elongated the sleeves. It's originally supposed to be a bit shorter, like about 2 inches from the armpit, but I've decided to do it up until probably here, like a 3/4, and then I still need to add the ruffles. The ruffles will add, I think, a bit more centimeters to the length, at least for the body and then the sleeves. I am 50-50 on whether or not I want to add the ruffles, but I think I will, just not in the lace weight yarn that's recommended in the pattern. She recommends doing a lace weight yarn just to give a little bit more daintiness and femininity, I guess. But I'm gonna stick to using this yarn because I actually want to use up as much yarn as I can for this pattern. This is 90% merino, 10% linen, and I think it will be really great to wear for weather like this, especially because it's very thin. As I said earlier, it's fingering weight and it's very billowy, so I like that a lot. I think I'm on my second ball. I only bought 2 balls, so we're hoping that this could finish up soon and I have something new to wear. I think next year for Chinese New Year, I'll probably wear this. If I'm ever invited to a friend's open house, I'll definitely wear it. I think it'd be really, really fun. And I've been really enjoying making this. I didn't start this quite a long time ago. I started back in February, I think the first week of February. So it took me about a month to finish this project, and I've been really enjoying it. I am surprised at how much I've been enjoying knitting a cardigan, especially one of, this type with 3.5 millimeter needles, but I've been really enjoying it. I think the plan is to continue working on the body. I need to cast this off soon, and then once I cast this off, I'll do the other sleeve, and then I'm going to work on the ruffles, which I'm hoping won't take me too long. I foresee that I'm going to finish this sleeve and then the other sleeve by tomorrow, and then I'm working on the ruffles probably on Tuesday, and then maybe finish by the end of the week, and then I'll finally have something to post on Instagram, because I haven't been on the Hairy Knit Instagram in a while. My bad. I've been so offline lately, and I think that's a good thing. I shouldn't be online all the time, and I have a lot to say when it comes to being online as somebody who has been online for over 10 years, working online. It's a very scary thing to think about, but tangent aside, I'm going on too many tangents. I think this is a really nice piece to wear, and I can't wait to show it to you. I'm so excited. Also, side note, I was working on this last night at my in-laws, and they were asking what I was making. I was like, oh, I'm making a cardigan, and they asked what yarn I was making, and I was like, what yarn I was using, and then I was like, oh, I'm using merino linen. They were like, wow, merino is so expensive. Yeah, merino is expensive, but I like working on it. It's nice. It's a really nice it's a really nice yarn to work with. I think that is it from me. This is a very short podcast, so I do apologize, but I hope next month when I'm doing the next podcast, we will have a lot more to talk about, and I will have more videos. I know I haven't been posting as regularly as I was last year, but in my defense, I am on a creative block, and I need some help knowing what videos you want to watch. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I think that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Bash Harry. This is the Hairy Knit, and I will see you later. Bye!